Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley and we are now in Shogun 2 Total War, making the rounds, shaking off the Warhammer gameplay by getting a bit more of a mix back. I do love Shogun 2, one of my favorite multiplayer experiences of all the Total Wars. I really wish they would go back to this format. It plays smoothly, the units are balanced and responsive, the maps are unbelievably awesome, and the veterancy customization is just, you know, cream on the, cherry on top. I was gonna put cream on top, which is good. Yeah, it's just good, but I do like the cherry on top. So my build, what do I have here? Well, I have 2 Yari Cav, 2 Katana Cav, just going around, probing areas. I like to keep Cavalry running about to keep my opponent on his toes. I'm seizing key areas like the forest here. Then up through my center, I have 2 Naginata Warrior Monks with some Nodachi Samurai. 3 of those. I have Naginata Samurai and another Naginata Samurai, and these are obviously going to be the heavily armed Naginata variants. Can take a real beating, and so that's why they're charging forward. They're going to be absorbing whatever my enemy has. On this front, I was expecting my opponent to maybe have some troops on this front, which is why I had some hidden 2 Warrior Monks and a match like Ashigaru. For some reason, I really like having ambush units in every Total War. It's not going to be the case, so they're going to be just moving over to the archery dojo. On this far side, I've feigned a charge with my Yari Cav against his Katana Cav. He's since pulled back with his Katana Cav, so what I'm doing is just hemming my opponent in. I'm going to go ahead and go for that dojo there. The one in the center is going to be a sword dojo. My opponent is going to be kept off of the morale dojo for the time being. I have slipped around a light cavalry in the back, and then right through the center here I have my bow cav kind of sitting stationary, baiting out shots from his units. I've been kind of picking away at his infantry forces. You can see them here in the woods, but he did pull up some bow warrior monks, which are going to be very hard for my bow cav to deal with. Obviously they're outranged, but if I do get shots off, I will do some pretty good damage. So you can see me feigning in here with some light cav. The purpose of that was to force his archers back. As they pull back, you can see my bows came in just when these archers can't fire, and I'm getting off some free shots. So I would say that is how you should use your cavalry. And it's a real shame that in Warhammer there's no real skirmishing phase that takes place. It's something I definitely miss from the other Total War games. He's going to go ahead and unload with his bow warrior monks. I'm a little slow on my micro because I was microing cavalry elsewhere, so I do lose a couple more men in the process. He's got fire arrows now, which is a good move. I was going to throw in some cav again just to disrupt his formation, but left my cavalry in once again for too long, so I'm not trading super well, but it's fine. I am capturing the dojos for the time being. These troops are pretty exposed. They could lose, but I do land a nice strike with some of my light cav into the side of the lone swords, the side of these bow warrior monks, so they've dropped all the way down to 62. And this lone sword has lost almost 50 men in the process of me just chipping away at it. So these are the tactics that I like to pull off. And I love these bow cav. They're so responsive, so fast. Really wish we have some skirmisher cav equivalent. Yari cav did get in the mix too, just to hit his lone sword Ashigaru. His Yari samurai were pulled out of the way. Now I'm targeting them. I have his bows all tied up, so I'm slowly but surely chipping away. I'm going to start pulling in my other skirmishers, and here I'm going to disengage. Gonna lose a couple men here and there, but my opponent really, oh my god, getting torn to little bits with my bow cav. Usually I like to bring more than one bow cav just so you can always have, you know, one repositioning and one firing. Over here I did land a nice strike with my katana cav against his lone sword. He's gonna get a better trade. His Katana Cav are going to charge into mine, but then I have Yari Cav for another sandwich. Some of them are going after his Matchlock Warrior Monks, and then I charge into this formation, knowing that I could beat his Katana. He's going to be countercharging with some of his own Katana and getting some volleys off with his Matchlock Warrior Monks. I figured I'd go ahead and throw my own Yari Cav straight into this position, knowing that I have my own range units who are trying to move up into position. I wanted to take away my opponent's skirmishing advantage. He's going to come back and chase me away with his Katana Cav. It's going to relieve pressure on my one cavalry force and allow me to kill his Katana Cav here. My horses continued to charge through, hit the back of his force. Yari Sami's facing the wrong way. Take out more of his bow warrior monks. Fire continuing to be put on by my units. And I've cleaned up that force, pulled back my Yari Cav. What has happened here is my Naginata that were trying to intercept his Cav are themselves going to get intercepted by some Naginata warrior monks. And it looks like Katana Samurai. So this is not going to go well for me. And already I'm suffering pretty devastating losses off of the charge. Yeah, and I rout almost instantly, so that was a waste of a unit. So I've been trading pretty well, I would say, but right there, that was a pretty devastating loss to me. My opponent's going to make sure he absolutely routs that, and then he's going to pull back to the safety of this hill. Still hasn't revealed his full hand. Actually, no, this is the force I was waiting to show you. 2 Great Guard units positioned in the back. These are very, very high tier cav, so I have to be careful about how I confront these. I do love the color scheme he has on his forces. The army painter is definitely something that Warhammer is missing. Yep, bow warrior monks down to 13 men. I now have my own matchlock Ashigaru, bow cav, and then 2 bow warrior monks pushing up. I have both of the dojos. My opponent has not claimed this dojo, so I feel like I'm in a good position. I'm pulling up my Nodachis back there, and my opponent really doesn't have that great of a cavalry edge. I have a lot of these Naginatas, which are pretty good anti-cav, so I'm not too worried about him. I'm just worried about, what am I worried about? Well, I guess my main threat is he is up here in the woods with some bows, and I can't really return fire with him appropriately, so I have to keep my distance. You can see a couple of my matchlock Ashigawa there biting the dust, just a couple here and there, not too much, but in the time being I have brought in 2 of my bows, so they're going to be coming back to suppress my opponent. So it's going to be a besiegement of the hill. There goes some volleys, and his units were already relatively depleted before. Now they're going to be that much more depleted. He's going to immediately pull back, knowing that I have more fire he can get against me. God, this looks freaking beautiful. He's going to use fire arrows. My dudes are a bit clumped up, and some of them are out in the open, so I do expect him to trade pretty well with me. But then again, I have 2 versus 1 here. The forest is giving him some pretty good cover, and that's why I'm pulling up with my matchlocks and other cavalry. He countercharged, this is very smart, with some of his own katana cav. I don't know why I didn't anticipate that, but anyways, I'm going to react very, very quickly. So what you have to do is when you do a mistake like this, what you have to do is, okay, I'm going to lose this unit, so what I'm going to do is seize on this opportunity and charge with everything. So on this flank, I charge into his Great Guard, then pulled out, trying to draw him into my Naginata Warrior Monks. That's the only way I'm going to win this engagement. I charge in here with my Naginata Samurai against his Katana Samurai. That's just supposed to tie him down. In the center, I charge in with my Katana Cav just to tie down his own Katana Cav. I should win that engagement. I'm trying to hold strong with my Bow Warrior Monks, suppressing now his own Bow Warrior Monks. And overall going pretty well. However, I did forget my light cavalry here that had come back from routing and was sitting on the flank, and this is where the Great Guard just absolutely ran through them. This was no contest, and so now what the threat is going to be is this exposed flank. Not much I can do here if my opponent decides to charge through with his Great Guard, which is exactly what he's going to plan on doing. On this side, my Yari Cav have come back from retreating. I popped the battle cry, Naginata monks against Great Guard, pinning them from the front, and then I'm going to charge in from the rear with Yari Cav for another charge bonus. They're going to be at 33. You're going to have to watch as they drop pretty precipitously there, and so this is how you counter Great Guard cost effectively. Now, pulling out of combat with my cavalry force, as you saw me do, is not advisable. You saw I almost lost them. Only really do that if you have units nearby. So there you go. He's going to lose it. Although in the center, his hilltop here with the Matchlock Warrior Monks is doing tons of work. On this flank, I decided I would throw in my general against the Great Guard. And you can see how his troops didn't have their lances down. That means he was targeting my Bow Warrior Monks. And so I got the charge bonus off against him, and he did not. That means that my general, who is a sort of melee-focused general, is going to be kind of beating the hell out of these Great Guards. Look at this. They've already lost half strength to my charge. I have lost 4 men, and now my bows are going to turn about and start firing here. He has some Katana Cav free and some more bows, so he's kind of evening the odds against me here. So my guys are pulling back. I did pull some Nodachi into the fight. So his Yari Samurai are into my bows. I'm going to pull my bows out and replace them with Nodachi, which are going to be great. More Nodachi going to be coming in. On the far flank, Pretty much killed his Great Guard, so he poured in more units. I'm going to wait it out here. I do have an ambush force just holding back on the hill. I want to feign, you know, weakness on that side so he gets pulled in and I can charge in the flank. Although in the center I do actually have a pretty significant weakness. My general pulled out of there with 7 men left. His Great Guard down to 19, so I'd say I came out the better. Didn't lose my general, which was pretty good. Nudachi are going to form up and then get off a nice charge here. Boom! Right into the Katana Samurai, so I should be doing pretty good off the charge. But in the following up charges with his guys, I don't think I can hold out too well. He's got guns in the back chewing into me, but my bows are in relatively good safety. I've been targeting his Great Guard. They're going to be routing. I'm targeting his general, and I'm going to be targeting his matchlocks. And what I'm going to try and do is give cover to my Nodachi so they can charge the hill here. Here comes the charge of my guys. He's going to try and charge in with some lone swords. Not really going to hold back Nodachi for long. Although it looks like a couple of my guys here actually went down. I don't know how that was possible. I think I may have targeted the wrong unit. So we'll see. Now his general is up here popping all sorts of abilities. I'm still targeting his guys. My own gen with only a couple men left, 7 men left, is going to be hammer and anviling his remaining samurai here. Trying to give me the edge, but still I lost 1 force in that 2v1. I do have 1 left, so I've inspired it. It's going to have a bunch of stats just trying to hold the line. It's getting a lot of kills. My own bows ignoring that fight, targeting the matchlocks. They're down to 20 men. My ambush here did not really work. The enemy became aware of them, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them out of the fight. At least they do make for fresh troops. And now I can charge in on the final hillock, where he's got the stand and fight ability employed by his general. But that means he's now a sitting duck to my bows. So I've made it into the late game where my opponent has no cavalry, no range units, and so yeah, it's pretty much in the bag at this point. So we get to enjoy some awesome samurai on samurai action, and playing a lot of Total War Warhammer has made me kind of miss the goriness and the match combat animations. Just awesome stuff that you're seeing here that it really, I mean, they had to do it for Total War Warhammer, but can you imagine the crazy animations that could be going on? I really hope it's something that they bring back in a future installment, maybe in a little bit more frequency. Although I do understand how hard it will be to implement. But anyways, that's it. I'm wrapping up these flanks. My reinforcing Naginata warrior monks were very, very critical to taking out some of his healthy troops. It's Naginata versus Naginata. So in this engagement, not sure who's going to win. But my general is here to rally the morale, and then perhaps land some flanking blows on my opponent.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, my lord.
Yep, and here comes my general. And he pulled out of that fight because I had already actually won it. My Naginata is doing work. Finally, the only unit left is going to be Golden San, this bodyguard, holding strong with the... I love how the general usually just sits on his chair here with arrows getting fired into his back. He has like whiskers on, that's so funny. Now he's finally gonna get hemmed in by my men. See how he does. Oh, his bodyguards really standing to the last, slashing my guys. Oh, he's a beast. He's cutting my guys left and right. But finally, I think he's gonna be taken down. Let's see who's the brave warrior. I've lost him. Okay, here he is. Here he is. Will it be an honorable death? Ooh, and the battle ends just as he's about to perhaps get a killing blow to the face there. The look of surprise. Let's see if we can't capture that. The look of surprise on that avatar. So cool. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this battle. I do like playing Shogun 2 and other Total Wars, obviously. So leave your recommendations for what you'd like to see in the future. I'm going to end this battle, and we're going to take a look at some of the unit stats here at the end. Like I said, I really like Shogun 2. I like having the mobility. Bocav are super strong. They need to be microed a lot, but you can pull off some really amazing stuff, especially in the skirmishing phase of those battles. My opponent, Alex of Yellow Top, is here. He deployed more men than me, and I killed a little bit more. Let's take a look at how I did that. Well, Nodachi is doing a lot of work. Yari Cav getting very effective strikes. Where are my Bocav? Oh wait, now we're in my opponent's forces. So yeah, his Great Guard with 44 and 68, that's decent, but really these guys should be doing more than that. His Bow Warrior Monks were suppressed, his Katana Cav were suppressed. On my side, I mean, this was the biggest fumble. My match luck, I should go, were moving in to shoot up his hilltop, and I just got countercharged. Nothing really to stop that. That was a really big fault of mine. Had it not been for that, I think I would have done very well. Otherwise, Bow Warrior Monks trading, yeah, okay. Light Cav with 47 kills, picking it up. This is a very cheap unit, and you saw how I used them in conjunction with the Bow Cav here. Light Cav to circle around, Bow Cav to, you know, pick at the enemy. And right when they're about to return fire, pull out with your Bow Cav, charge from a weird angle with your Light Cav, force your opponent to shuffle his troops, and then charge back in with your Bow Cav. A very, very potent combo. And yeah, Yard Cav 137, Nodachi, all around very good unit. The Bonsai ability is going to be very critical for those key moments in the battle when your morale could be low. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. See you in the next one. Peace out.